Hey, it's Paul Banis with GreatDad.com, and I'm here with my son Hayden, and we are here with another one of our reviews. If you haven't followed our channel, time to subscribe now, but we do cover all types of gear, tech reviews, as well as monthly and quarterly Cairn box unboxings, which we just have a lot of fun doing. So what we're doing today is looking at something that a manufacturer sent us called the Tapplock One. They advertise it as being the first thumbprint or fingerprint friendly lock. Though I have seen others on Amazon, just in the interest of full disclosure that there are other ones out there. But this one is clearly the one to beat. I think, based on what I could tell on Amazon, this is the one that's got probably the best specs in terms of quality. You can just feel it. It's a very heavy lock, and you can check on Tapplock's website, but then they have all the specs for how thick the titanium steel is and everything else. But it is a very solid lock. But does it work and is it convenient to use as a padlock? You tell them.
I guess, yeah.
Well, that's not a very ringing endorsement. We did have no problems at all setting this up.
It was really easy, really fast. You just get the app, you do the Bluetooth connection, you set up your fingerprint, and yeah.
Right. And it takes up to 500 fingerprints can be put on this little sensor here. And let's show them how quickly it works to open it up once it has this
Just have to
fingerprint.
press the little button, you place your fingerprint, and it just...
They say 0.8 seconds to open it up. And then it just closes back down. I've got my thumbprint instead. Oops, there it is. Now the important thing is that there is this little button that
yeah, you have to press the button
down
first.
till the light is flashing, right?
Yeah.
And then it just pops open. So very good. The one thing I can say is that I would be a little bit worried that the whole thing is a very durable lock for a lock or something. The one thing I'd be sensitive to is the fact that the touchpad is probably the most vulnerable part. I don't think you could necessarily break into it by punching in the punchpad, but it could be the point where somebody might vandalize your lock.
It's another con.
So the other thing is that the battery within it lasts for an entire year.
Oh, that's not a con.
Well, you know that. Well, no, it's not a con that it lasts for a year. That's a good thing. You don't have to charge it all the time.
And only with a 2-hour charge, you get 1 year. I mean.
Right. The problem is that
the problem is the charger. I feel like when you put it down, and because the cable isn't very twisty, as you can see, you can just.
Well, it's a magnetic. I think they made that for ease of use. The thing is that it's not, unlike most of the other USB cables you see, it's not the typical one. This is
It's like a.
It's a magnetic. One. It's like the one you'd see at a what's it called, the MagSafe one that they use on the side of a MacBook, and. So you probably don't have 20 of these like you do have micro and mini
so if you lose
USBs.
It,
so a year later, when you go looking for this thing, you may be finding yourself ordering another one on Amazon, right? Mm-hmm. Then the lock itself opens in 3 different ways. One we showed you with the fingerprints, which is really efficient. That's the way you probably use it most of the time.
Another way.
Yep. The other way is there's an app.
And then, wait, you should be able to press on this, and then on the app, it shows, like, I think you take a picture of your lock or something. It shows it's, apparently it's disconnected right now. Because
it's a Bluetooth.
It's a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah. So there is a little bit of that Bluetooth pairing that goes on with it. I mean, it's not a big deal, but you can set it so you can actually unlock it from afar, right? You could put it on your locker at school and then send the command to open it up to somebody else and it would just unlock, right?
So all you have to do is press the button twice, and then you hit the unlock button, and then unlocks.
Right. So that's great for if somebody else is going to your storage facility or whatever and needs to get in. And then the third way, which is kind of cool, and just that kind of geeky thing that I'm sure they added on just because they could, is you can use Morse code and you can just code in.
You can be like, beep.
It's on the button?
Yeah, it's on the button.
Pop, 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 pop. And then it'll open that way. We didn't learn the Morse code to do that. So yeah.
Yes.
So the Tapplock One is not available on Amazon. You've got to go to Tapplock One. I don't know if it's Tapplock1.com. I think it's Tapplock.com. We'll put the URL in the comments. But
Not
it's
in the comments, in the description.
in the description. But it is $99.99, so not a cheap lock. There are, I mean, you can buy master or combo locks for, you know, $4 or $5. So this is a little bit more of a geeky gadget, but it is, it does what it says, easy to set up, very strong lock, and except for those few little vulnerabilities, I think it's a winner.
I'm not sure if the touchpad is even that vulnerable. It doesn't feel like it's glass.
Well, it's got to be some sort of glass because it's got to have some sort of ability to read the image, right?
Yeah, it's like just a little pad.
Well, a little sensor. I think if you took a nail or something, if you wanted to do harm to it, you could. Okay, so that's the Tapplock One. I'm Paul Banis with GreatDad.com. He's Hayden. See you next time.